Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Giselle and I review fragrances. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you consider subscribing if you like my content because that way you will help me grow my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your support. So guys, today I'm excited because I have this lady here, which is the new sister, the new Delina La Rosee, that I would like to review here with you. So if you are interested, stay tuned. Let's cut through the chase, guys. So we are here in full Delina swing. We have a candle there. And yeah, the box is the same as the other two. It also comes in this velvety pedestal. The bottle is slightly different because the other two are pink and they are opaque and matte. Well, this is translucent and frosted. So yeah, it looks like a decor piece. Look at this. Bottle, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So guys, I have tried this because I wanted to give you some data in terms of performance. So I wanted to try it before, but I am going into more deep detail right now with you, okay? So let's get started. Let's spray. Let me read the notes for you. So we have lychee, pear, and bergamot as the top notes. We have peony, Turkish rose, and transparent flowers as the middle notes. And then we have vetiver, white musk, and soft woods as the base notes. So the base notes, if you don't know, are the notes that will stay longer with you. That's why it is so important when you try a perfume to let it breathe at least 1-2 hours, because you have to get to the base notes. Those are the notes that will stay with you the longest time. So if you don't like the base notes and you just like the opening, highly likely you will end up getting rid of that fragrance because you can't, it's not comfortable to be, you know, to smell all the time something that you don't really like. And the base notes are the ones that will stay there with you for the longer time. So what I like here is that they have grouped the notes according to each category, and they didn't mix them. Like we have fruits in the top notes, we have flowers in the middle notes, and we have the woody, musky type of notes in the base. So they are totally separate, and I like that. The creator, the nose behind this is Quentin Bish. He has created the other two Delinas. He created also Chloe Nomad. He created La Belle by Jean-Paul Gaultier. He created the 2 or 3 fragrances for the niche line by Bottega Veneta. It's called Parco Palladiano. He also created Angel Muse. So yeah, he's a great nose actually. And guys, the opening is like extremely fruity. It's very, very fruity. I'm gonna try to be as objective as possible here, okay? It's super fruity. Lychee is like center stage, which I like. I love lychee. Bergamot is here as well, but the bergamot here doesn't have any zesty or lemony type of smell. It's more for freshness. And definitely you get the pear. So the 3 top notes are very distinctive. This one shares the pear with Delina exclusive, while the original Delina has rhubarb instead of pear. And I think that was why Delina hit the jackpot, because I think that's what really makes that fragrance unique. That tartness, that initial burst of tartness is really unique. Neither Delina nor Delina exclusive are my cup of tea. That's why I haven't bought them. But when I read the notes of this one, it really kind of grabbed my attention. And I love everything translucent, transparent, in aquatic notes. And although this doesn't have aquatic notes per se, sometimes the lychee, especially combined with other notes, gives that aquatic type of vibes. And this one also has the transparent flowers. I'm not quite sure what they mean by transparent flowers, to be honest with you, because the only flower I know is it's a transparent flower, and it's called the skeleton flower, which is a flower that looks like any other flower in the field. But when it comes into contact with water, like the rain, or if you pluck it and throw it in a lake, it turns completely transparent, like glass, crystal clear. It's super, super beautiful. I leave a picture here. or here. I don't know where it will appear. But it's a really beautiful flower and it's included here as well. So all that gave me the hint that it's gonna be an aquatic fragrance, and I am not wrong because it is a very aquatic perfume. Fruity, super sweet. It's not cloying, but it's very sweet. It's very refined. It's very innocent. It's like an innocent fragrance. This is a fragrance that I would picture a 14, 15-year-old teenager pulling off. It's very nice. You can start smelling the rose in the dry down. And when you initially spray it, it will be a burst of fruits. It's like a fruit bowl. But now when it started to dry down, here, when it starts to dry down a little bit, you can start identifying the rose. The rose is kind of blooming. They actually use Turkish rose. The other name for the Turkish rose is Damascena rose. I talked about this rose before. This is a type of rose that it's used in perfumery when the companies want to create an ultra feminine, oftentimes powdery scent. And this is the case. It's not powdery at all, at least not on my skin, but it's super extra, ultra feminine. It's sweet, it's super feminine. It's not like a Barbie sugary type, but nevertheless, it's a very feminine fragrance. I wouldn't say this is a unisex fragrance because it definitely is feminine, but of course you can wear whatever you want. I would say among the three, this is the least complex. This is a very linear fragrance. There's no complexity here whatsoever, which is fine. Maybe that's what they wanted to create, so nothing against that. It's very watery. It's very rosy as well. Yeah, and as I said, from the trilogy, I would say this is the least complex. This is for a late spring, summer. This is more like late spring or really summer fragrance. This is something I would wear on a scorching hot day. This is like, you know, like eating raspberry granita or strawberry granita. This is a little bit, probably the burst of fruits is so strong that reminds me a lot of the strawberry or even raspberry. But yeah, this, to me, this has like raspberry, strawberry. It has some berry hints here. It doesn't have any berry at all in the composition, but this is what I can pick. And that's why it reminds me of strawberry granita, for example. That thing that you could wear, or watermelon granita. Something that is super refreshing, very, yeah, very super refreshing. This is very effervescent, is like fizzy, super refreshing. But this is something that I would only consider wearing in summer. In fact, I feel that I'm not doing the fragrance much justice because we are in the middle of the winter and fragrances definitely smell different depending on the weather conditions, right? It's not the same fragrance in the middle of the winter, it won't smell the same as in the middle of the summer, and it won't perform the same. So I really want to review this again when we are more in the summer months, or at least in spring, because I really want to be as objective as possible, and I think I should have waited until the summer. But anyway, I think it's a beautiful fragrance. It's very refined, but I have to be honest with you guys. I expected more. I expected more from this, and that's why I'm gonna tell you, don't blind buy this fragrance, because even if you love the other two Delinas, it doesn't mean you will like this. And in fact, I think if you like the other two, you might be, I don't like to say this, but you might be a little bit disappointed because you won't get anything similar to the other two. It's a totally different type of fragrance. In fact, I don't know why they included this as part of the Delina collection, because it has, aside from the lychee and the pear, there's nothing else in common. This could be a totally separate fragrance and a fragrance on its own. I think it's pretty generic, honestly, and I have smelled many fragrances like this in my life. In fact, this reminds me a lot of the fragrances from the 90s. I don't know if you know, but the 90s were famous for the cologne. Cologne is a compound used in perfumery to recreate the freshness that watermelon has. And also, in fact, the cologne is called the watermelon ketone, I believe. because it recreates that. For example, some fragrances from the 90s like Cool Water or Escape by Calvin Klein, they had the cologne, and I think l'Odyssée as well. That's why this reminds me, now I understand, this reminds me a lot l'Odyssée, because it has that freshness. This doesn't have cologne at all in the composition. However, it does remind me of that freshness, that watermelon freshness, or the freshness you will get when you go to the beach, or if you are in the ocean. It's not salty, it's not the salty freshness, but the airy freshness, right? The sweetness, the freshness you get in the air in those like typical summer days. Again, it's a very beautiful fragrance. I wouldn't say it's a signature worthy scent. Maybe for a teenager could be. It's not like a Barbie type of scent. It's not like Aqualina or any of the likes. It's a totally different level, but it's nothing groundbreaking, nothing that I had never smelled before. In fact, I like l'Odyssée by Issey Miyake and Pure Nectar by l'Odyssée more than this one. It reminds me a lot of those. Those are mainstream fragrances, but they remind me a lot of this one. This is niche, and I'm sure it's a niche quality fragrance. In fact, this is what I wanted to try because lasting power surprised me. Actually, when you smell this fragrance, you wouldn't expect it to last as much as it does. And I got 7 hours out of this. Of course, it becomes a little bit more like a skin scent after the second, third hour, but it stays there. It's very linear. It won't change. The only thing you will not smell as strong are the fruits. After an hour, you won't smell the fruits. I still do smell because I sprayed maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes ago or something for the purpose of this review. But when I tried it before, I can tell you that after an hour, the fruits are not that prominent. Maybe the lychee a little bit, but not that prominent anymore. And you will smell more rose. Now, another thing. The fact that, yeah, this has rose. It's the same type of rose they used in the other two siblings. However, that doesn't mean anything in terms of similarities, because there are thousands of fragrances in the market that use Damascene rose, and that doesn't make the fragrance similar to any other that also has rose, right? So don't take it as a hint that you will get the same DNA as the other two Delinas have. This is my personal opinion, my 100% subjective opinion, so always take everything you hear, everything you read with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, it's your opinion what matters. You are the only one who knows you better than anyone else, but this is my opinion. It's a beautiful fragrance, super fresh. I would definitely use this in summer. Actually, I'm not quite sure why they launched it this early in the year when it's winter in the Northern Hemisphere, but I think I'm not doing any justice by gauging and reviewing this fragrance in the middle of the winter. That's why I would definitely like to make another review in summer. But yeah, I expected more, guys. I really expected more from this, and maybe that's my fault. Always expectations surpass reality sometimes. But yeah, long story short, it's a fragrance that smells like the bottle. Sheer, transparent, fizzy, effervescent. It has great lasting power for its category, 7 hours on my skin. I think this is an ageless fragrance, but as you know me, I hate labels. I don't like to say this is for over 30, over 40, over 50, whatever. But sometimes I have to say something just to make you, position yourself. That way you will be able to understand what type of fragrance is this, right? So this is a very youthful, playful, young type of fragrance to me. The other two are more ageless. This is ageless as well, but it's the youngest. To me, this is the baby sister, and this is for a younger crowd, definitely. Signature scent worthy, it depends. If you like something super light, this will be to me like a Delina La, for example, or a super light eau de toilette from the original Delina. Although it's not similar, I would say, yeah, it makes sense. But I think it's super light. honestly. So I don't know, it depends on it. It's really up to you if it's a signature scent or not. To me, it's not, because as I said, I feel this is targeted for a younger crowd, and also because I would only wear this fragrance in scorching hot days in summer. This is a spring, late spring, summer scent, and that's it. I can't wear this in winter because I think I'm doing a disservice to the fragrance by wearing this at this time of year, because I won't be able to really appreciate the fragrance. Probably there's a lot to appreciate here, but unfortunately, being in winter, it doesn't allow me to. So yeah. The other thing I wanted to add is that to me, this is an office safe fragrance. It lasts 7 hours at least. I have a pretty neutral pH. That's why fragrances usually tend to last longer on my skin. But let's say at least you will get, I'm sure you will get 5-6 hours, I'm sure. And it's a beautiful fragrance. It's very refined, as I think I said this before, because it's sweet, it's young, it's playful, but it's refined. This is niche, but nothing groundbreaking. I have to say that as well. I'm sorry. I want to be honest with you. Again, this could be a signature scent worthy if you want. It's office safe as well. And this is something you can pull off for informal events. If you decide to go for it, this is something really informal. Maybe if you layer this with Delina, with the original Delina or the Delina exclusive, it will be a totally different experience. The other two sisters are not my cup of tea. I give them credit because they are amazing fragrances. I recognize that they are great fragrances, especially the original one. Although I like the exclusive more, I find it deeper, I find it more rounded. I think both of them have more character than this one, but still they are not my cup of tea. So yeah, if you try it and if you have the other Delinas, I would suggest to layer maybe. If you are not really convinced, try to layer with the others, and maybe you can pull this off all year round when you layer with the other two. Yeah, that way you won't feel like that typical summer fragrance. This is, as I said before as well, very similar in terms of vibes. I'm not talking about similarities in terms of scent. I'm talking about vibes. So this is very similar to Pure Nectar and L'Odyssée. Both are by Issey Miyake. Very similar in the vibes. But I don't find the Issey Miyake's as summery as this one. They are very summery, but not as this one. I actually use L'Odyssée in particular all year round. But this one is just for me. I would just wear it in summer. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video. This has been my review today. I will probably review this fragrance again in the summer, and because I'm pretty sure it will perform better and the fragrance will be different in the middle of the summer. So you can expect that video in the upcoming months. I hope you enjoy my content. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. That way you'll help me grow my channel. Give me a thumbs up and remember to hit the bell button. That way you won't miss my upcoming videos. And I hope I could clear up your mind. I could clarify some doubts. Of course, the best way to buy fragrances is to test them first. But sometimes, you know, in the crazy times we are living in right now, the only way is, you know, to rely on reviews. That's why I am trying to be as descriptive and objective as possible in all my reviews. I hope you can get that, and if that's the case, I am super happy. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.